Hi, my name is Julie Enstall and I'm here with my husband, and in the last video you heard how he started this amazing transformation of losing 70 pounds pretty much effortlessly. He had a few habits that he changed and we've been outlining those for you. If you didn't see the last video, you can click on the link below and still watch it. But we really just talked about how you need to start with one thing, and his one thing was tracking his food. And then he went on and say you must have a commitment, and that he committed to do this for a year. And I think that's the one of the big takeaways, is that sometimes success fades because our interest fades or we give up too quickly. So now I want to talk a little bit about what his transformation looked like. So we referenced a video that was his defining self-realization. And we've linked you to it, but can you tell us how much did you weigh then?
And in that point in time, again, that was almost 2 years ago. I think I was topping the scales at 240 pounds.
Great. And do you remember like what your
42.
waist size? 42.
42.
And what are you now?
Well, actually, I'm into a 30 now, and
wow.
My tailor says we'll do 30s and we'll let them out just a little bit because they know I keep coming back and buying new pants. So they said we can alter them out a little bit. So yeah, now I'm fitting in pretty comfortably in the 30s. So I've lost 12 sizes in pants.
That's
in the waist.
Awesome. And it is kind of funny because when he first started losing weight, he'd come home and he looked like a little old man. He'd had his pants all cinched up with a belt, and he travels a lot. So what he was telling me was I can't take my belt off anymore in TSA because my pants will fall down.
Right, I'd have to hold my pants up with one hand while I went through the TSA line. And if you go through the millimeter wave scanner and they say hold both hands over your head, I'm like, can I get a pat down instead? Because there could be a scene. It was pretty bad. So it just really came off very, very quickly at first. And of course I had to get new clothes and stuff like that. So.
Which he's enjoyed. And what about meds? Were you supposed to take any meds before all this?
Yeah, so prior to this, kind of a background, I was going for my private pilot's license, and the first thing I decided to do was, can I pass the medical to get the pilot's license? So I went to an AME, and he said, hey, everything looks good except you've got some high blood pressure issues potentially, so we need to recommend you go to a doctor. That doctor said, yeah, let's go ahead and put you on some medication. So it put me on a high blood pressure medication, and I was just kind of shocked. That was kind of a precursor to all this, right? Do I have some sort of underlying medical issue that I need to correct myself? So the interesting thing is that blood pressure medication made me feel lethargic. It took energy out of me, and I didn't like it, so I just quit taking it. So, which is probably not, I'm not recommending that, by the way. But I just said, I have to do something different. If I indeed am pre-hypertensive, or whatever they call that, I can fix this some other way. But of course life gets in the way, and a year went by, and then Christmas hit. So so I quit doing that. Right now I'm on no medication whatsoever. Blood pressure.
And his blood pressure's good.
And so there's all these other benefits to just looking good, feeling good. Health is much, much better with no exercise at that point also, right?
Yeah, so I think he lost probably about 30 pounds, a little over 30 pounds before he ever even entertained the idea of exercise. From the last video, we talked about how important it was to start with one. So perhaps, and again, I was trying to get Chuck to exercise. I've always been trying to get Chuck to exercise. And I said, you know what? Why don't you just do one push-up? If you feel like doing more, do more, but just do one. And one day I actually caught him doing push-ups. So you want to tell him the story about how this started?
Yeah, so I was, obviously being married to a personal trainer for 20 years, she has a lot of great knowledge, background, history. So I said, okay, obviously she's looking good, doing something right, so I can do, and she had challenged me to do at least one. So I was traveling, I was in my hotel room, I said, I can do one push-up. And so I did. I said, there you go, I did a push-up. She wasn't there to see it. And I said, well, maybe I can do a squat, and maybe I can do one. And I did, and it's just kind of, because I'm obsessive compulsive and like to take things very sequentially, I did one. And I did one squat, one push-up, one jumping jack. And I go, there, I did it. And then the next morning, I was still traveling. I said, well, if I did one, I can do another one. And so I did two.
Almost jokingly.
Almost jokingly. I said, you know, I'm going to continue to add one every day until I just can't do anymore. And then I realized I was doing 20 push-ups and 20, and then I had to start doing, well, maybe I'll do them in sets. And this, and I'm actually kind of doing a workout routine that Julie had told me to do, and I kind of kept it hidden from her. because I didn't want to be just a skinny guy. I also wanted to be kind of healthy and have some muscle tone and stuff like that. So it was interesting, but again, it started with one. I just do one push-up. Okay, well, that seems silly. I can do 2. Well, if I can do 2, I can do 5, I can do 10, 20. And so that's kind of where it started. And then I added some things in, and then I realized, well, maybe there's some areas that I need to focus on, which was my midsection, right? So I wanted that 6-pack ab. So I asked Julie, because she's the expert. I said, well, what can I do? What kind of exercises can I do to focus on my core to get those abs? And she said, try planks. I'm like, oh my gosh, not planks.
So we did build his exercise routine up very gradually, and it's been changed. Actually, he's decreased it. So he had gotten up to about 20 reps, 3 sets.
Yeah, like 3 sets, so 60 push-ups, all
but
but
it was taking too much time.
It actually, yeah, so time constraints, especially if I'm traveling, I have to get up earlier. I don't like to get up early. So then maybe more focused, more targeted things.
Now, one other thing that he did when he came home and told me that he was exercising is he said that after he had started just doing 5 squats, I think he said they're hurting my knees. And what you may not know is that a while back he was like a weekend warrior soccer player, and which scared me to death, because if you're over 40 and you don't exercise and you go out once a week and just blow it out, running, you're inviting a heart attack. So I was always worried that he was going to have a heart attack, and he does have a history of that in his family. He did not have a heart attack. He instead tore his ACL. And while that stinks, I was very thankful that it wasn't a heart attack. So I was like okay with the ACL, but it's caused him problems since then because he has pain in his knee. So when he started doing these squats, he was noticing that the knees were hurting a little bit. And I think that also encouraged him to continue, because he knew he had scar tissue in there that needed to be broken up. So
yeah, so right, so after a while, it was again something I could work through and manage, but I realized that in doing so, I was actually strengthening my knee and all the little cartilage, ligaments, whatever it is around that. It was getting better and better. So I'm going to do this. It does hurt, but it's not. It hurts less than what it would normally hurt if I didn't do it. So every day, through that a little bit of pain, a little bit of discomfort, it got better and better. And I was focusing on that. I'm like, I need to do this.
Yeah.
So
now, how does it feel now?
It feels awesome. I mean, full mobility, always did have that, fortunately, but there's no pain whatsoever. I can do complete deep squats all the way down, all the way back up, no pain whatsoever. It's great that I've kind of worked through that. So the point there is, don't let that stop you. If there's a little bit of pain, don't be crazy and re-injure yourself, but don't let it stop you, because that's just something you need to work through, and you yourself know what you're capable of at that point. But it really has helped. And then my body alignment has been better because I'm not favoring that knee, which I might have been doing subconsciously. So it's been fantastic. So there's been a lot of benefits to the exercise, certainly.
And I'm so happy he's exercising. So
we don't exercise together.
No, we don't.
I can't keep up with her.
No. Well, and we really have 2 different goals. And he's more fit than he was when I married him over 20 years ago. So I love that. And the fact that he was so diligent about tracking his food and staying consistent with it helped me be more consistent. And I really want to stress this point. So if we're putting these videos together so that it'll encourage you to maybe make an attempt too. So maybe it's you that has been frustrated, maybe stuck, or maybe it's somebody that you know and love that you know needs to change because they're on medicine for chronic issues, or they're overweight and they're just frustrated and don't know where to begin. And we wanted to put this together to show you really how simple it is, and hopefully encourage you to start simple and start small and take those next steps to become healthier. Now we did want to put together an FAQ for you because you might have a few questions, so we anticipated a few questions that you might have, and that's what the next video is about.